Hi, bestie. Welcome back to Girl House. Full transparency, this is my fourth time restarting recording this episode because I am really hungover today, which is making it a little difficult to record. I'm not even that hungover. I didn't sleep. I went out last night and then I had some friends over after to play Sequence, which if you haven't played, I think it's the most fun game in the world. The only person I know who does not like it is my mom. And I'm like, maybe one day she'll never like it. I was like, maybe one day I'll get her to like it, but she doesn't enjoy Sequence. I think it's a blast. Anyway, it's like a card game on a board and you have to get two sequences to win if you're playing with teams. I lost. Anyway, then I didn't go to bed till like after we were done playing Sequence. Everyone left and then I cleaned, got ready for bed. By that time it was like almost like 5 a.m. and then I had to wake up this morning to go view a house I was thinking of moving into because I'm moving soon, which I'll get into in this episode. But yeah, apologies if I can't speak well today. I'm doing my best. First and foremost, fire update. I know I've gotten a lot of questions asking if I'm okay and how I'm doing, and which is very sweet. Once again, I am totally okay. Have not, like, Venice has been fine, other than the air quality obviously is not great, but it looks like, at least the fires, I know they said last night was like the last like big bout of wind for a while, so I think hopefully the fires will start. It'll be easier now to get them under control because obviously when it's so windy, wind fuels fire and makes embers. Yeah, I don't need to explain how fire works right now, but I'm sure you know as well. Anyway, no, I'm hoping it's so sad and heartbreaking. And like, once again, if you have been affected and like have lost anything in the fire, I am sending you so much love, and also sending so much love to all the firefighters and first responders who have been like out there. I've seen for like a lot out there for like over 24-hour shifts. I can't even imagine. It's really crazy and really devastating. I did see on the like fire duty app that it looks like the Eaton fire, which is one of the two really big fires, is like over 50% contained now, which is really big progress. And the Palisades is, I think, almost 20% contained now. So really hoping that with the winds dying down now, the fires will die down as well. But obviously so much damage and devastation has been done now. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say other than like I feel so heartbroken for everyone, and it's awful. I will say, like, the one really heartwarming thing that I have seen come out of this, not that there's any positive to this, but is just how much like LA came together to like help everyone and each other. It's been really cool to just see everyone come together as a community to support and help each other out. And once again, I'll leave a link in the bio for ways to help. And if you have any ideas on how I can help, please let me know. I want to see if there's any animal shelters I can help at, because I know there's obviously so many animals in shelters right now who have either had to be surrendered after their families lost their home or were found. But yeah, if you have any ideas on how I can get involved and give back, other than obviously like I have a ton of PR, etc., that I want to go donate. But yeah, I really am sending everyone so much love. It's just a really, really sad, devastating situation. I don't have words for it. It's also just like a very weird, uncertain time right now. I know in about 4 days, well, when you're listening to this, it will be like, I don't know how many days. My brain can't do that right now, but like less than 4 days. On the 20th, obviously, Trump will be going into office, which is really disturbing and scary for the next 4 years. And I I'd like to say like, yeah, let's have like a hopeful attitude about it, but I don't feel good about that at all. Obviously, I don't think, I just hopefully, I want to say hopeful attitude in the sense that hopefully he doesn't do like too much damage, but I think a lot of damage. I don't know. I don't want to I'm too hungover to like really go into this right now, but you know how I feel. It's like sickening. I can't believe he's actually going to be president in a few days for the next 4 years. Like, that's really disturbing. We have a convicted felon, sex offender, just like disgusting human being who's going to be running the country, which is really scary. So also, yeah, just sending a lot of love this week. It's weird. And I know the TikTok ban is looming, which is, I don't feel like it's going to get banned. I mean, I know this ban is like more real than any of the other times they've said it's going to be banned. So I will obviously recognize that. I know there's like a big chance. I don't know if this is just like that it could get banned, but I have a gut feeling it's not going anywhere. I saw that the Biden administration is saying that like they don't want it to just go away on Sunday now, because right now, if the Supreme Court decides to ban it, it will immediately go away on Sunday. And some people are saying like it'll still be on your phone and you'll be able to use it. It just won't update. But then I'm hearing other things. It'll be like a complete blackout and you won't be able to use the app at all. I don't know. But it's just so sad because like obviously TikTok is like a silly little app, but also not really. Like, it has just like changed so many people's lives, like helped so many small businesses, provided so many jobs to people, and like even like aside from that as well, it just has like, it's such a community. Like, there's so many communities on TikTok, and I know I talk all the time about like the toxicness of TikTok, but it will be really sad to see it go, just because like, for example, like my sweet community of besties, and I know I have like the real serious besties here, but it's just like sad that like I feel like there's so many people on there who have grown with me since the very beginning. And like, I started TikTok in 2020 during the pandemic when I was going through a breakup in my first year of law school, and like just really honestly pretty depressed and like lonely. And I started making vlogs after my like really weird videos I posted in the beginning. That's for another, look, we've talked, yeah, anyway. But no, I like just like all of a sudden like slowly like grew this community of just such awesome people. And like, this sounds like very cheesy, but I went from like feeling really alone and like just like sad to feeling like so whole, because like as time went on, like I built a community that like had my back, and now I know has my back. Like, if I'm going through something, like there's so many, and I can't even believe that I have this, but there's just so many people who are like supporting me, and like we're all supporting each other. It's crazy what this app has brought, and hopefully it's still going to be here and this doesn't have to be like this whole thing, but I'm so grateful for, I mean, it completely changed my life, like completely. But like, aside from even career wise, I'm just so grateful for the community it's given me, because I don't ever really feel alone anymore, because I know that I have people I can talk to, and I hope you feel that way about me too. And Girl House and Celia, like we are always here for you to talk to as well. So it's just, I'm rambling on, but I hope that TikTok stays around, and I kind of feel like it's going to. I haven't made like a farewell video on TikTok or anything yet, because I just don't think, I don't know, maybe I'm naive, but I don't think it's necessary. This is my other update. Yeah, so I'm moving on, I guess, like a positive note. I'm moving in like a month and a half now, which is really soon. So I'm starting to go look at places right now and try to figure out. I love this house so much, and I think this is like the most special place I've ever lived, is this house we're in right now. But Celia's gone now, and we picked this house because it was a place we could live together. She had her space, I had my space, and it just doesn't make sense for me to be here now because it is like very expensive, and obviously will be more expensive if I renewed the lease and then was like paying Celia's portion as well. So I am going to move, and I will miss it so much, but I am excited looking at new places as well. I don't know. I really want a bathtub is all, but I don't know if that's gonna if that's gonna happen. I haven't had a bathtub for 2 years, so I'm really hopeful for a bathtub. But I went and looked at a place today. It looked like super, super promising. I mean, it was basically it was like it seemed too good to be true because the price was insane, and it was like perfectly new and renovated inside. But it was basically like in someone's backyard. A lot of places here have like ADUs. It's actually what Celia's place is, where they like convert a garage into a house. And I had a feeling it was going to be like that, but I was hoping they'd have like, a fence or something, so there's like some privacy. But it, like, the main house where the people lived, like you could like see into it, was just, I feel like, I mean, maybe if the people who lived there were cool, it would be okay, but I feel like I could already feel how awkward it could get. And it also was very small. I like wouldn't be able to fit my dining table or my couch or anything. Yeah, if it was just like a little bigger and had like some sort of privacy. I wish I knew more details just about like who was living there and like how often they were there, etc. But it was like a self showing, like they just left a lockbox and you went in and saw it yourself. But no, it was a really very sweet property. It just was, yeah, I could just see it feeling weird. And I have to think about like Mr. Barker Ducky, who's sitting next to me. Like that's the other thing. Like I'm touring. I want to move into a house, but I'm not seeing like a ton of houses for rent right now. I might have to get a real estate agent. I am touring an apartment on Saturday, which I don't think I'm going to go with just because I don't see Ducky doing well in an apartment. But like there obviously are a lot of benefits living in an apartment versus living in a house. But I love the house era, and I think I want to find another house, but my goals are just, I want to spend a little less money on rent, because the past like 2 years, the amount of rent, honestly 3 years, the amount of rent I've been like spending is just like disgusting. Like, so I want to try to reel it back a bit if I can. Also, like, obviously stay in a place, like, I still want to find a place that I love and feel safe in, but I want to pay less. So I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I'm like, my brain is not working. I'm having trouble talking. But yeah, the place that I looked at today, cute, nice, but just super, I don't know. I could just see it like being super awkward. And yeah, I guess now we're just gonna get into the chit chat. Updates are over. And I'm going to do my best to chit-chat hungover, and apologies if my brain is not working properly. I am really doing my best right now. Okay, so I guess we'll just rapid fire. This is kind of going to be another Q&A style. How to feel confident in clothes / building your own style. I wish I had, this is definitely a better question for Celia, but I feel like I don't even know how to answer. I like personally like a really baggy style. Like I feel most confident in baggy clothes, and I think for the longest time I'd try to like, I don't know, like fight that and like wear other types of clothing. I can't talk, but I think you just have to know, like, you feel good in, like, when I like, I'm not saying this in a pick me way. Please don't take this in a pick me way. My mom is going to, if she hears me calling me pick me, yeah, since I Celia and I were saying that we make fun of our moms for being pick me in the last episode. They're not actually pick me. We just like to joke about it. But anyway, this is now going to sound pick me on my end. When I sometimes I don't know how to say this without, I just can't think right now either. No, I just feel more comfortable in not a super, I like a baggy pant and a tight shirt. I can't talk right now. You know what? Next question. I realized I like baggy clothes, and I think that's okay. That's my style. It's what I like. It's what I feel comfortable in. And I think that's really the key, is whatever you feel most comfortable and confident in is what you're going to feel best in. So if that is something, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm hungover. We're going to have to go to the next question. I'm really trying my best. Okay. My thoughts on the TikTok ban. Gave my thoughts in the update, but I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, that's really sad. And also just a slippery slope, because if they're going to ban TikTok, there's a lot of other things they could ban under the premise that they're banning TikTok. So I don't know. I'm not obviously in the Supreme Court, but obviously I will say the one thing this is helping me practice is you cannot control things at all. And worrying, me sitting here worrying oh, I really hope TikTok doesn't get banned, that's not going to change the Supreme Court's mind at all. They're not going to be oh my gosh, I feel there's someone's worrying over there, let me, yeah. So I'm just trying to not think about it really. Obviously be prepared for if it happens, but there's not really much to do until if it happens, I guess. So am I staying in LA for sure now? Yes. I know I went so back and forth on this, and you've heard me go back and forth. Am I staying in LA? Am I moving? Am I staying? Am I moving? But I am staying. Like I said, I was just looking at houses this morning, this weekend, and I think I talked about this last episode, but I think I wanted to move for comfort because I don't have a ton of friends out here yet, and obviously it's very different without Celia being here, but I do also just love it here, and I don't feel ready or want to leave right now. So I am going out of my comfort zone and staying in LA, and I think it will be good and force me to grow again. And yeah, I love it here, and I don't want to leave, so I'm staying. And the messy women are probably very happy about that because they don't have to get on a plane again yet. So anxiety advice. It's definitely a very broad question. I mean, I'll say what I was just saying before, about the TikTok ban, but this is something I'm really working on, is just so much of anxiety is just obviously dealing with the fact that you can't control things and worrying about what's going to happen and the what ifs, or if, yeah. But I think it's really hard, but we kind of just have to accept that we can't control anything. And have I accepted that? And am I taking my own advice? Absolutely not. But in a perfect world, I am getting a little better at it, but there's nothing worrying about something. And obviously anxiety can be much deeper than just worrying. Trust me, I can't even get in an elevator without feeling I'm going to pass out. So it's not just, but on the sense of just worrying about things that are out of your control, there's just no reason to. It's either going to happen or it isn't. or it already did happen. Like, I think the key to like dealing with anxiety though, and I'll never forget, like my 6th grade reading teacher said something like this, is just that like the past already happened, the future hasn't happened yet, obviously. Like, all you can really do is be in the present. And like I remember that stuck with me so much because I've always like been such an anxious like worrier. And like I remember, like, I will never forget, obviously she said the quote much better, but that like stuck with me for my whole life and like actually helped me sleep, because like I'll be up at night, like, and I always have been this way, like worrying. Like I used to sleep with a whistle around my neck because I was scared I was going to get kidnapped or there'd be a fire. And I would like sit in my room planning like, okay, what am I going to take in the fire? Like, yeah, I'm a worrier, but I think it's just trying to live in the moment and accept that things are not in your control. But yeah, I haven't accepted that at all, and I worry all the goddamn time. So I don't know. Also, there's of course anxiety medication, which can really help. I was on Prozac again last year, and I stopped taking it now because there were some negative side effects that I didn't like for myself. But I do think I took it to the point where like my brain does feel more leveled out now. Like anxiety and depression are literally chemical imbalances in your brain. So if you're struggling, like don't ever feel ashamed to go on medication, because it's there to help you, and it does help. And when your brain is literally, there's chemical imbalances, like sometimes like you need medicine to help your brain. I also will say like getting a therapist has helped me so much. I was having like a tough week earlier this week, and I literally was like, I texted her, asked her if we could meet early, and like just like she calmed me down about everything. And like no, it's just really nice to have someone to talk to who is a professional and can give insight on your issues. Yeah. I'm like trying to think of like any like, I mean, all I talk to about my therapist is how anxious I am and how I'm always worrying. But she always has me like kind of go through this thing in my head where it's like, okay, are there like any actual facts that you can like use to back up this like theory or scenario you have in your head? And then we kind of like work from there. But like a lot of the times like worries are just worries. Like there's not a factual basis it is or isn't going to happen. And there's like this quote that it's like, I don't know what the percentage is, but like 80 or 90% of the things you worry about like don't come true, which I can speak on. The amount of times I've like stayed up in the middle of the night like Googling what to do if like I get trapped in an elevator and the power goes out and no one knows I'm there and I don't have service. Like that. I mean, I guess I hope it doesn't happen. I was like, it hasn't happened to me, but yeah, maybe it just hasn't happened yet. I'm not even going to put that into the, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things I've stayed up worrying about that haven't happened. Most things that I worry about like don't happen. So I'm really struggling to chat with you. I hope I'm doing okay. I'm sorry. I promise next week's episode will be better. I'm just really hungover. How do you cope with your OCD, bestie? I'm just finishing therapy for mine. I guess that's like going off what I was just saying. But yeah, I mean, my OCD is like just completely about control. Like I am a control freak. I want to be able to control everything. And I think my OCD got to the point where like there was no option but to go on medication for a bit, because it's just like it was ruining my life. And but I think now I'm in therapy for it, and having someone, and I'm glad you're in therapy for it too, bestie. I think it's really helpful to have someone. Like there's a lot of things that I do and think about that I don't even realize are like OCD. But it's also nice having someone to talk to who is a professional, in the sense that like a lot of OCD too is like, it's not just, I mean, this still stems from control, but like intrusive thoughts, like you are not alone if you have like really creepy, weird, intrusive thoughts. Like don't ever feel like I can't even, there's like some, like I'll share my intrusive thoughts on TikTok all the time, but there's some that like I'll never share because it's just like too just think like the worst of the worst of the worst, like that can be really hard to deal with, because I think a lot of OCD is like wanting, like, to make sure, at least for mine, is like wanting to make sure I'm a good person. And like when you have these, like, I told you, I think I did a whole episode on it, but when I like found out I had OCD, like by self-diagnosing before I was like professionally diagnosed later, it was because when I was like 13 or maybe a little younger, I started like getting so worried I was going to accidentally like kill someone. And like I like wouldn't want to be like in a kitchen around friends, because I'd be like, what if I like take this knife out and stab them? And like not because I wanted to, but because I was like, it's just these intrusive thoughts, like, and it's like the what if I lose control, like, and this happens, and to the point where I like wanted to check myself in somewhere. And then I googled this and like harm OCD came up, and it was the most relieving thing ever. So I think even like going on forums and like reading other people's stories and like them sharing their intrusive thoughts can be really helpful, because it's a really weird thing. But the way my therapist explained it to me is like intrusive thoughts are like the fact that they bother you is like, and you're so upset by them, means it's like so opposite of you. Like you're not having these thoughts because like if you were having these thoughts and you were just like not thinking about it and like happy, like yeah, and like let me act on this, it'd be one thing. But like you're having these thoughts because like you're so terrified of not being a good person. And like I can't talk. I really can't talk right now. I'm really struggling. But the whole point is like these thoughts are not real. They're not you. It's just your brain freaking you the hell out. How to deal with anxiety when hanging out with new people. So awkward until I get comfy. I totally get that. Like it depends on the person. Sometimes some situations I'm like good at like talking and being outgoing, but there's other situations, you know, when you're hanging out with someone and you just like, you literally feel like you're getting like I don't know how to explain it other than like I like I literally cannot perform well. Like I'm trying, I can feel myself being awkward, and then like the more I think about it, then the more awkward I get, because I'm super aware that I'm being awkward and weird. And then it's just like this like thing, and then I go home and I'm like, oh my god, that was like a terrible performance. And then I think about it forever. I don't know how to get out of those. Like I'm trying to think like how I've gotten out of awkwardness. I think I really don't have good advice for that, because when I get really awkward, I can't. I mean, I guess I have had to force myself to just like talk through it and talk it out. I don't know. I'm giving really bad advice today. I don't know. I mean, I will say like even the times I feel like I've been super weird, like anxiety definitely adds to it and makes you feel like you were a lot weirder than you were. Like any single time, every time I go anywhere actually, or have any social interaction, I go home and I think about it and I'm like, wow, I was just like definitely super weird. And I think about it for days, and I'll be like, did I talk too much about myself? Did I not ask enough questions? Or did I like come off like interviewing them? Or did I say something offensive? Like I will just go and sit and think, yeah, your mind's a monster. But I don't know. I wish I had better advice for that. Today's not the day for me to be giving advice, unfortunately, because my brain is really not working. This is really, I'm like, should I even put this episode up? I feel like this is like, okay. Advice for your 21, 22-year-old self. Let's see. What was I up to at 21, 22? Oh, 21, 22. I think I was like trying so hard to like impress people and like not be myself fully. I think I was really trying to fit in with like this crowd and like pretend to be someone I wasn't, and like act like I was really all about like, and Celia did an episode about this, like we got really into just like acting like we were so cool and like hiding who we really were, not completely, but just like we got like very we were just insecure about ourselves for like the stupidest reasons. And I think if I could go back, I would just be like literally just like stop being a freak and just be yourself and be normal, because it's not fun to like, it's not fun to stress about what other people are thinking. And obviously I still struggle with that, but I think, yeah, I would just tell myself to stop trying so hard to fit in with a group that doesn't even really fuck with you. That's what I would tell myself. And any other advice that I would give my 21-year-old self? If I could go back to when I was 21. Yeah, I think that's like my biggest one, is just to not care so much about what other people think and not try so hard to fit in with groups that don't even want you to fit in with them. Just like be yourself, stop being weird, stop caring so much about what's cool and what's not cool. It's so easy to get in that trap of like trying to be cool, and that's just like not fun. How to not let past relationship trauma affect new relationships. Great question. This is something I've been talking about in therapy like all the time, now that I am in a new relationship, and it is like the first healthy relationship I feel like I've really ever been in. And like my last two relationships, like serious ones, were, one was 2 years with someone who had undiagnosed schizophrenia the whole relationship and was like very paranoid, and like I was like, anything I did, like even if like I could say one thing like wrong, quote unquote, and like then he would like block my number for weeks at a time and like just blow up at me. And I have like a whole episode on that somewhere. And then after that, like I dated someone who was just like so controlling and like very gaslighty, and like had like if I cried, like that was the no crying rule guy. So yeah, I think it's like really, it is hard because like I'm so used to people being really awful, and like I don't want to bring that into this new relationship, and that's not fair. And like my therapist always reminds me, like it's like that's like not a fair thing to do to the new person you're dating, because they've given you like, they're not them, and there's no reason to, I can't, she says, I'm really having trouble talking. I don't know how many times I'm going to take a shot every single time and say I'm having trouble talking. But yeah, I don't know. I think you just have to like, I think it takes time and getting comfortable, and also like expressing that like I have literally like in my new relationship talked about how I had like bad relationships in the past and like struggle with this. And I think like letting the new person you're dating know like your past can be really helpful, because they'll know like kind of how your brain works. And I think it really just takes time and like building trust that it's not gonna be the same way, you know? So but no, it's definitely something I am working on and talking about in therapy. Your experience with Prozac. I'm on it right now and the weight gain is messing with me. I think I talked about this a little before. I'm going to put like right now a big trigger warning on this conversation. So if you want to skip over this, I am going to talk about like weight gain and body image. So if that's hard for you to listen to, skip over this part. But I also, did I just come off rude? And I was like, if that's hard for you to listen to, skip over this. I didn't mean, I meant like I totally understand. I can't, I'm like worried I'm like coming off like really bad in this episode. Oh my gosh. I just need to, okay. Prozac and weight gain. That is, and like I want to say this, like I can't guarantee it's why, but I can almost guarantee. Basically, I've taken Prozac two times in my life. In both times I've taken Prozac, I have been the most unhappy with my body and unrecognized my body the most. I do think like Prozac works different with everyone, because I know a lot of people don't gain weight from it at all, but for me it definitely does make me gain weight, and that was one of the reasons I stopped taking it. But like I don't want to say like this is like a tricky subject, because obviously like I also felt like mentally better. Like if I was still really struggling and had like a lot of anxiety, I think gaining some weight from anxiety medication is like, it's better to have a few pounds on and like not completely feel like yourself than feel mentally unhealthy, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you feel good in your brain and happy in your brain. I think everything else comes second to that. So I would never say like, don't take Prozac because it causes weight gain. And like, I don't even want to say like, this is like, I don't even want to say Prozac causes weight gain, because for a lot of people, it doesn't. It totally depends on how your body reacts to it. And the good thing is there's like a lot of other anxiety medications to try, which I'm actually thinking like, well, I don't know if I've like kind of talked with my therapist about like maybe looking into in the future if I feel like I'm still struggling with OCD a lot, like other anxiety medications, but I get it. And like, it sucks. Like, I wish weight gain was not a side effect to, some medications, and for some people isn't, but I guess, yeah, my experience with it, like full transparency, I gained weight and I don't feel like myself anymore. And, I like haven't gotten back to where I was before, but that's like, I don't want to freak anyone out or like, so that's my thoughts on that. But at the end of the day, like, your brain being healthy and happy is the most important thing. And, as they say, your body's the least interesting thing about you. So, obviously easier said than done. I mean, I've been insecure for like a year now. So, yeah. Okay. Next, not getting over something. It's been over a year, but it is still affecting me. Bestie, I feel you. And like, don't feel ashamed of how long you take to get over things, because I have been sad about things for like what is like socially acceptable, like way too long. And it always makes me feel weird, especially because I feel like a lot of my friends are like very good at like moving on and handling their emotions better than I do. But I am a very sensitive person and I get very sad. And I think it's okay. We all like have our own timelines of how we deal with things. And like, I don't know what if this is like a relationship you're talking about or something else. By the way it's typed, I feel like it's a relationship. And I'll just say, and I've said this a million times, I'll say it again, I literally talked to someone once for like 3 weeks, really like only like 3 weeks, and I took over a year to get over them, and I felt super weird about that. But I think we all just take our own time, and eventually like you do, like it will, time heals all. And I wish I could say like exactly how much time it takes or what to do, but I think it really just takes time. Advice on keeping friends post-grad. Signed, a graduating senior. So my friends from law school, like we still, like I think it just takes like an effort and like putting in the effort to like stay in tune with each other's lives. Like my two best friends from law school is Alana and Bianca. We still like make sure to, we haven't been that good about it lately, but we'll try to do like little drink FaceTimes to catch up. And like we have a group chat where we like always check in with each other, even though like now I'm in LA and they're both still in New York. I think it really, like, if you care about the friendship, like it will last. It just may take a little more effort. Cleo and Luna updates. Miss the messy woman. Well, Miss Luna is sitting here right next to me. Hi. And she's drooling a little bit. That's concerning. Looney, are you okay? She like has a little dribble of drool on her chin. They're doing great. I actually just ordered them this food that they did a brand deal with like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and we lived in New York. Yeah, I guess over 2 years ago now. It's called Smalls, and it's like frozen cat food, because I feed Ducky Farmer's dog because he's so picky. And I was just feeling like I get the girls tender tuna, like Science Diet, these like pouches that they love, and then they have their kibble on top of that. But I was starting to feel really like bad that Ducky's getting this like super nice fresh food and they're not. So I just got them a new food that they'll be trying out. I think it gets here on the 18th. So I'll keep you in tune on that. But other than that, they're really good. They still can't stand Ducky. So there's that. But I will say right now, as I'm recording, Ducky's on one side of me, Luna's on one side of me. Everyone's kind of coexisting. Ducky's also terrified of Luna. Cleo, not so much. So he's been in his harassing Cleo era, but Cleo kind of taunts him too. Like sometimes I'm like, is she having a little fun with it? Because he'll walk by her and not see her, and then she'll like stick out her paw and swat at him to like try to get his attention. So I don't know, but I just hope they're happy. I mean, they say Luna's purring right now, but I just feel like their life got turned upside down when Ducky moved in, and I love this man because he's a puppy. He like obviously takes so much more attention right now, and they're not big fans of him. I really hope they're happy. But I think, Looney, are you happy? I don't know if you can hear her purring, but if you can, that'll be really cute. Healthy relationships with men. I think this is the key, is you need to feel healthy and good about yourself, because I think for the longest time, like I let myself be in toxic things because I didn't care about myself. And I think you need to like learn to be alone and learn to love yourself and learn to be your own best friend. And it sounds very cliche and like whatever, but I think that's like until you are like 100% okay and confident and feel good about yourself, like I don't think it's very easy to have a healthy relationship with anyone. You know what? I think I'm gonna end this episode here. I think this is probably in the history of Living with Ease / Girl House the worst episode to ever be put out online. I'm like really hungover. I'm really sorry. I did my best. I'll do better next week.